Zok the Gemara. We are Daf Heyamid Aleph, Masech Nedarim, third line from the top. So the Gemara says, the Gemara is asked on Rabbi Yossi Rav Chanina's din from the Mishnah. So Rabbi Yossi Rav Chanina's din previously discussed was that if somebody says Mudrani Heimach, if a guy tells his friend Mudrani Heimach, they're both Aser. So Frag the Gemara Tanan, we learned in a Mishnah later on, Dafim Zayin and Beis, Hareini Alecha Cherem, if somebody tells his friend, I am on you a cherem. In other words, any hana, any pleasure that comes from me should be aser on you like a cherem. Cherem is basically like saying I'm like hektish, a bedek abayis. So halacha is hamud or aser. The one that he set it on is aser. So the Gemara, amal madir loy, but the guy that's making this neder, he is not aser. So the question is, l'chayr, according to Rabbi Yossi Rav Chanina, both of them should be aser. So and for the Gemara, kegoin de parish, it's talking about that the guy, the madir, the one that made the neder, he specifically said v'atalai loy, that you should not be on me a cherem. So that's why, in that case, Rabbi Yossi Rav Chanina would agree that only the muder is aser. So the Gemara goes on to ask, the Mishnah later on there on Daf Zayin says, at the end of the Mishnah, it says atalai cherem, that any hana that comes from you should be aser on me like a cherem. So the halacha is hanoider aser. So the one that said that, the noider, he is aser to have enough from his friend. However, muder loy, but the guy that he said it on, the muder, is not aser. So l'chayr frik the Gemara that according to Rabbi Yossi Rav Chanina is din, according to Rabbi Yossi Rav Chanina is din, both of them in this case also should be aser. And for the Gemara could go into parish. No, it's talking about that the noider said that he said atalai cherem, which is what he said. That's the case we're talking about. He specifically said ana'alach loy, and that's why it is not chal on the muder. So again, that would stem with Rabbi Yossi Rav Chanina's din. So the Gemara doesn't like this teretz because the Gemara says it's mashma aval stama, means if you didn't say anything, if you did not say v'ani alecha loy, what will be the halacha? Shnei and asur, they will both be aser. And l'chayra, it doesn't make sense to say like that. Why? Because Tani Seifa, it says in the end of the Mishnah there, Hareini alecha v'atalai. If the guy says, I am in you a cherem v'atalai, and you are on me, the halacha is shnei and asur. So it's like the Gemara, it's mash from that Hadain, only in this case, when he says Hareini alecha v'atalai, hu d'shnei asur, but hastama, if he just says atalai cherem, and he does not say v'ani alecha, then only he's aser. But his friend will be mutter. So it's mashman like not like Rabbi Yossi Rav Chanina. That's the Gemara is coming out right now. So because of this kasha, the Gemara is going to go on to say like this. That this is how you have to learn Rabbi Yossi Rav Chanina. Elahachi et Rabbi Yossi Rav Chanina. This is what Rabbi Yossi Rav Chanina meant to say. Mudrani lecha shnei asur. That if somebody says mudrani lecha, they're both asur. That when he says mudrani lecha, it means also you. That's what the lashon mudrani lecha means. But if someone just says Mudrani Heimach, uses a lashon specifically Heimach, so the mashmais of the word Heimach only means from you. So in that case, he's also to have enough from his friend, but his friend, v'chaver mutter, but his friend's allowed to have enough from him. So the Gemara basically is differentiating. Gemara is explaining there. Yismach and Nina, basically, what this study is saying, that both users is only specific when you use the word mudrani heimach. But if you say mudrani lecha, in that case they would tackle both be mutter, both be usher. So, for the Gemara of a Masnisin Diktani, the Gemara is going to ask on this. L'chara, the Mishnah says Heimach, and it doesn't say Mudrani L'cha or Kimnul Masnisin L'Shmuel, and we established the Mishnah was that tonight like Shmuel. Bekulan Achiyemer Shanitayim L'cha V'Shanich L'cha. Huda Aser, that by all of them he has to say Shanitem Lucha Shanichol is Aser and Chaver Mutter, Vachaver Mutter, Aval B'Mudrani Heimach Shnei Asurin. So it's mashma the only time you say he's Aser and his friend is Mutter when he makes an neder is only when he says Shanitem Lucha. But if he says Mudrani Heimach, it's mashma they're both Aser. The Gemara just finished trying to say Pshana Rias V'Chanina and Mudrani Heimach, only he would be Aser. So the Gemara is going to go back now. The Gemara says a different pshat, and for the Gemara Ella, rather you have to say Meikara to Shmuel Hachi Itmar. You have to learn Shmuel like this: At Taima the Amar Shani Echel Chav Shani Tayim Lecha. The reason why he's only Aser Ba'achila is only because it says Shani Echel Chav Shani Tayim Lecha. So that's why he's Aser. That's why he's Aser to Ba'achila, specifically the Hana of Achila, not other Nas. Ha Midranim Mecha Aser Afilu Ba'ana. But if it says Midranim Mecha, then he's Aser even to have any Hana, any pleasure, even something else, even different pleasure from his friend. So that's what Gemara is saying Shmuel means to say. Shmuel's not talking about Legabe, if he's Asabana of his friend, or his friend is Asabana also from him. That's not at all what Shmuel, it's not at all what we're taking out of Shmuel. It's not Shmuel's point. Shmuel's point is that depending on what lashon you use, it's going to depend on if the guy that's making the neder is aser only in eating, or is he aser in any type of pleasure. So that's the Gemara's coming out right now. So, in fact, the Gemara Hachi, if that is taka what Shmuel's intent was to differentiate between the Isser Achila and the Isser of Hana, then Shmuel Hachi, why did Shmuel say, let Shmuel say, why did Shmuel say that? So rather, the Gemara, this is how you have to learn. This is how you have to learn Shmuel. The Aser. The reason why he says that there's Aser is only because he finished off saying those words. That's why he's Aser. If he only said the words he only said these two words, Loi Mashma. The Amar Aser. They do not hear that from those two words that his kavanah is to Aser himself from his friend. So Amar Mudrani Himach Loi Mashma Amar Aser. Then it's not clear from those two words that his intent is to ask himself for Hana from his friend. Umay Taimo. And what and how could you explain his lashon? Zot Gemara Mudrani Mcha LaMishtiina Ba'adach Mashma. So when he just says Midrani Himach, you could just explain it to mean that he's saying, I don't want to talk to you. He doesn't want to talk to his friend. Lav Dafka has to mean that he's saying that he doesn't want to have any pleasure for any hana of his friend. He's trying to ask himself hana. So that's basically what the Gemara is trying to say in Shmuel. That's what Shmuel means. That the only time you're asr is only when you specifically say Midrani Himach, Shani Echach, Shani Toyim Lecha. But if you just say Midrani Himach, we don't see Bechlal, maybe Yisar hana. Or for Shani Himach, the Le'av Nimach Masa Matan Mashma. And the same thing, when he says for Shani Himach, I want to separate myself from you, it means that I don't want to do business with you. Mashma, that I don't want to be in your, when he says I want to distance myself from you, it means I don't want to stand in your 4 amas. So now the Gemara explains the Gemara wants to say that now that Shmuel explained, from this that you see that Shmuel explained the Mishnah according to the Shita of the Yadayim she'enim mechichos le'av Yadayim, and that's why if he just said Mecha, he would not be Asar. So basically that's what Shmuel's learning in the Mishnah. Shmuel's learning in the Mishnah that this that you have to say, this that he's saying, if you just say Midrani Mecha, it's not even considered, there's no Isra Hana. He just means to say that I don't want to talk to you. So he's learning that the Yadayim she'enim mechichos. So what does it mean, Yadayim she'enim mechichos? It means you're using handles, it's kind of like a handle, short language to try to make a neder, but it's not mechiach. It means it's not clear from the language that you're using what you're trying to do. So it's not clear that you're trying to make it Isra hana. So you see that Shmuel's saying that Yadayim she'enim mechichos, it's not Yadayim, it's not considered a yad for a neder. You can't actually have a neder go into effect because of it. So it's like the Gemara, Limik Savar Shmuel, see that Shmuel holds Yadayim she'enim mechichos le'av Yadayim. Say that Shmuel holds Yadayim she'enim mechichos le'av Yadayim. So says the Gemara in. You're right, Shmuel could hold like that. Shmuel Mokum le'masnis in Kirby Yehuda. Yadayim she'enim mechichos le'av Yadayim. So basically, what the Gemara is like saying, like, does that mean that Shmuel himself holds Yadayim she'enim mechichos le'av Yadayim, or is he just saying that? Or is he just explaining that's what the Mishnah means? Well, I don't really know how Shmuel will be arguing. Shmuel can't argue on the Mishnah, obviously. So let's see, what does the Gemara say? The Gemara says, Shmuel does hold that way. Yadayim she'enim mechichos le'av Yadayim. Shmuel Mokum Lasnis and Rabbi Yehuda. Shmuel zets his eye in the Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda. The Amar Yadayim she'enim mechichos le'av Yadayim. So we're saying that Shmuel zets his eye in the Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda that says Yadayim she'enim mechichos le'av Yadayim. However, Shmuel himself could disagree with Rabbi Yehuda. It seems like Shmuel would hold Yadayim she'enim mechichos le'av Yadayim. Even though he's saying the Mishnah's going like he's learning the Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda, which I guess argues on it. It seems like it's a machlekes. Okay, I guess Shmuel must be learning like somebody else. Maybe we'll see in the Gemara. However, that's what the Gemara is saying now. That Shmuel's sitting on the Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda that says Yadayim she'enim mechichos le'av Yadayim. However, he himself actually holds that Yadayim she'enim mechichos le'av Yadayim. So Zakting Gemara, the Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah Gittin Peheim and Alf, Kufa shall get the Iker Nusach that has to be written again is Harei with Taras Chal Adam. Meaning the main wording that you need when a guy gives his wife a get, he has to write specific words. So he has to write Harei with Taras Chal Adam. You are permitted to every person. So that's the main thing that makes the creases. That's what a get is. Creases is separation, and that permits her to marry anybody. So that's chacham. Chacham say you have to write a Riyam Taras Chaladam. Rabbi Yehuda. What does Rabbi Yehuda say? V'dein di yehev lechi minai sev terucham yigeras shavukin. What does that mean? It means this get that you have from me. It should be a book of gerushin, of divorce, basically, and a letter, the geras shvukin, and a letter that shvukin means to leave, and a letter that basically says that you have left me. So, what's the Gemara trying to say? The Gemara is basically trying to say that you see from this Mishnah Pehei and Aleph, Machlekes Rabbi Yehuda and Chachamim. Okay, so there you go. That what? Chachamim say that you have to write a Riyat Mataras Chaladam. So they're saying it's enough that a guy writes and a get to his wife a Riyat Mataras Chaladam. See, even though it's not clear that he's trying to, even though it's not clear from that lashon, when the guy says Harei Amataras Chaladam, you are mutter to everyone. So do we see from that the husband is the one that is trying to permit her to the whole world and not somebody else? No. But the answer is that Chachamim hold Yadayim Shein Mechichos Havi Yadayim. That's what you see from the Chacham. That's the Gemara's taking out of it. However, Rabbi Yehuda that says that you have to write this piece of paper that you have from me should be the divorce paper, and it should be Sefer Teruchim and Geras Shvukin. Since you have to say that lashon, those words, so therefore he has to write specifically in the get that he is the one that's doing it. Like he's saying, do you have a lechiminai? It should be to you from me. That's what he's saying. Why? Because if he doesn't say that, Yadayim Shein Mechichos Lo Havi Yadayim. That's what the Gemara just finished saying in Shittas Rabbi Yehuda. So you see in this Mishnah, Peheim and Alf and Gittin, Rabbi Yehuda holds Yadayim Shein Mechichos Lo Havi Yadayim, and you also see the Shittas Chachamim, which the Gemara was saying Shmuel would hold like that Shita, Yadayim Shein Mechichos Havi Yadayim. Okay, so let's see the Gemara weiter. So Gemara, Maidachik Shmuel Okal Masnisen. Why, Rabbi Yehuda? Why did Shmuel? Why was he dachik? Why did he push to say that to Zetzan the Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda, which is the Yachid? That's the question basically. Wouldn't you want to say that it's like Chachamim? Because we usually like to Zetzan the Mishnah like if we have a choice of a Chachamim, which is a Rabbim, or Rabbi Yehuda, we'll say like Chachamim. So that the Gemara, that why is that trying to say like Rabbi Yehuda that Yadayim Shein Mechichos Lo Havi Yadayim, and therefore he would have to say Midranim Mecha. Therefore the neder will not go into effect unless it says Midranim Mecha and Shani Eichel Lecha. So the Gemara look him Karaban and let him hold like the Rabbanon that hold that the neder is Chal, even though it's you don't have Yadayim Mechichos. And in that case, the Mishnah would hold that even Midranim Mecha itself would be enough to say that there's an Isser also neder. So Amarava Masis and Geshisa, you want to know why Shmuel didn't set that in the Mishnah like the Chachamim, even though they're Rabbim? Because he had a shver from the Mishnah. The lashon in the Mishnah was shver for Shmuel. Because if the Mishnah would have held Yadayim Shein Mechichos Havi Yadayim, I might tani Shani Eichel Lecha Shani Toyim Lecha. Why does the Mishnah say the lashon Shani Eichel Lecha Shani Toyim Lecha? Listni Shani Eichel Shani Toyim. Why does the Shani Eichel Lecha that eat to you Shani Toyim Lecha? Let me just say Shani Eichel Shani Toyim. Why? Because according to Shmuel, it would have been enough, right? Even though it's a little bit short, Shani Toyim Shani Eichel, but if you hold Yadayim Shein Mechichos Havi Yadayim, that would be enough. So the Gemara Shmamina Bina Yadayim Mechichos. You know why I didn't say that? Because you see from the Mishnah, in fact, you have to say Shani Eichel Lecha, and you have to have Yadayim Mechichos. So that's where Shmuel saw it. So Zokti Moravite. Itmar will learn the Bryce. Yadayim Shem Chichois. Yadayim that are not muchach from the handles that you're using to make the neder, from the yad, that what you're saying exactly. In other words, you could really explain what the guy is saying to mean something else. Abaya Omar, Yadayim Shem Chichois Ham Yadayim, and the neder's chal. Rav Omar, Yadayim Shem Chichois Lo Yav Yadayim, and the neder's not chal. Amar Rava, so that's where you see a machlek. You see a machlek is Abaya Rava. Abaya holds Ham Yadayim, Rava says Lo Yav Yadayim. Amar Rava, Rabbi Idi Asbar Ali. Rabbi Idi explained to me the makar of this din. Amar Kra, it says Lagabi Naziris. It says in the Bamid of Parak Vav Pasuk Beis, Isha Isha Kiaflu Linder Neder Nazir Lahazir Lashem. It says the words Nazir Lahazir Lashem. So Makish Yidois Naziris Lenaziris. We are Makish, the Pasuk is Makish, Yodis of Naziris to Naziris. Ma Naziris Bahafla, just like Naziris is Bahafla. Means it has to be clear when you're making the Naziris. That the Naziris is Chal. Af Yidois Naziris, so just like the Iker Naziris has to be Bahafla, means it has to be clear when you're making Naziris that Naziris is Chal. Af Yidois Naziris, so too Lagabe Yad for Naziris has to be Hafla. So that's what we're learning out today. It has to be Hafla. In other words, it has to be clear that when you're using the Yadois for Naziris, it has to be Yadayim Mechichos. Means it should be clear what you're trying to say. But Yadayim She'em Mechichos would not be good. And Huadin, Yodis and Darim, you would say the same thing. Else the Hekesh. So Zakti Gemara, Leima, Beplukta Rabbi Yehuda Rabbanan Kamefligi. So Zakti Gemara, let's say that the Machlokes Abaya and Rava that we just said before, Abaya and Rava, we said Abaya holds Yadayim Shem Chichois Ham Yadayim, Rava says Le Yadayim, say it's telling the Machlokes of Rabbi Yehuda Rabbanan. The Tanan Gufi shall get to Riyam Taras Chalad. Rabbi Yehuda says V'dein Yelichim Minai Sev Turuchin Gam V'get Peturim V'geras Shavukin. Rabbi Yehuda says clearly that you have to say more words in order that it should not be Yadayim Shem Chichois, because he holds Yadayim Shem Chichois Lo Yav Yadayim. So like the Gemara say Abaya that says Yadayim Shem Chichois Havi Yadayim, so he would hold like the Rabbanan. And Rava says Yadayim Shem Chichois Lo Yav Yadayim, he would hold like a Yehuda. So say the Machlokes Abaya and Rava is telling the Machlokes Chachamim and Yehuda. Zot Gemara Amar Lach Abaya is saying no, you don't. It's not muchach. You don't have to say that. Machlokes Abaya and Rava is telling Chacham or Yehuda. Another Amri, I can hold. Abaya is saying I that hold Yadayim Shem Chichois Ham Yadayim, I could hold even Rabbi Yehuda, but like Rabbi Yehuda by get. Because why? Because Ad Kan Lekam Rabbi Yehuda being Yadayim Chichois El Lagabi get. Yehuda only said you have to have Yadayim Chichois by get to be in creases. Because by get, it's important that this pasuk says it has to be creases by get. It has to be separation. It has to be full separation between the husband and the wife. The leka. And a get that does not have Yadayim Mechichos, you don't have creases. Al Ba'alma, but by Nedarim, by Yadis Nedarim, Mishamadli, maybe Yehuda would agree that you don't have to have Yadayim Mechichos. So that's a buyer. Rava says, I that hold Yadayim Shem Chichois Lo Yav Yadayim and Nedarim, another army I feel Rabbanon. I could even hold like the Rabbanon by get that the Rabbanon say that if you say Arayat Materas Chol Adam, that's enough, because they hold Yadayim Shem Chichois Havi Yadayim, because Ad Kan Lekam Rabbanan the Yadayim Mechichos only got to get Bovad, only got to get. Why? The end of the Megar says Chaver, because the guy is not, because you don't have to say, even though he's just saying Ariyam Taras Chal Adam, it's not clear who the get's coming from, but a guy's we're not afraid a guy's going to divorce his friend's wife. It's not something that we're afraid is going to happen. So therefore, he holds you don't have to have Yadayim Mechichas by get. However, by Yadis and Durham, maybe the Rabbanan would hold that you do have to have Yadayim Mechichas.